The Arizona Cardinals entered this matchup with a 2-1 record, same as the Seattle Seahawks. Arizona began their season 2-0, the best they've started in recent years under Jonathan Gannon, but their momentum was stalled last week with a narrow 16-15 loss to the 49ers. Seattle, on the other hand, is riding high following a dominant 44-13 victory over the Saints. That blowout win has raised expectations around their offense, especially under Sam Darnold, who has looked efficient in his limited opportunities. Darnold has thrown for 663 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions so far this season. Kyler Murray, for Arizona, has 542 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and Seattle's passing attack seems more rhythmical thus far, but Arizona's defense is getting respect for keeping games close. A major storyline: Arizona lost running back James Conner for the season due to a severe ankle injury. Before going down, Conner had 95 rushing yards, a rushing TD, and 38 receiving yards with another receiving score in 3 games. His absence forces Arizona to lean more heavily on Kyler Murray in both passing and scrambling, or leaning on backups like Trey Benson. This ramps up the pressure on Arizona's offensive line and play calling. Seattle meanwhile has healthier personnel, although they still have questionables. Players like Leonard Williams elbow, Josh Jones ankle, Julian Love hamstring, Boye Mafe toe, Jalen Sundle ankle, Devin Witherspoon knee MCL, all listed as questionable. So both teams have injury risk. In their head-to-head history, the Seahawks have dominated lately. They have won each of the last 7 meetings versus the Cardinals. That gives them both psychological and practical advantage. Arizona has had trouble keeping up with Seattle's physicality and time of possession in those games. The rivalry is heating up because both teams are 2-1 in the NFC West, and a win has division implications. Seattle is 1-0 on the road this season. Arizona is 1-0 at home. Kickoff is from State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona at 8:15 p.m. ET under Thursday Night Football lights. Odds for the game are tight. The spread is roughly Seahawks minus 1.5 at many sportsbooks. The over-under for total points is around 43.5. The money line is extremely close, sometimes even, sometimes slight lean to Arizona depending on sportsbook, weather, and injury reports. One model, Stats Insider, simulated 10,000 times and gives Seahawks about 56-60% chance of winning, but the margins are slim. From a betting trends perspective, Arizona's defense has been more impressive than its offense so far. They rank among top teams in opponent points per game, 17 ppg, and in yards allowed, especially versus the pass or rush depending on the matchup. Seattle's offense is working, but their running game is struggling. They're very low in yards per carry, around 3.3 YPC, one of the bottom in the league. On the flip side, Seattle has held opponents to a maximum of 17 points in their first 3 games, building trust in their defensive scheme. Arizona, in Week 3, scored only 15 points and led SF score 16. Those low offensive outputs with good defensive performance suggest under totals, slow-paced game, few big scoring bursts. Expect some value here. Trevor or Trey with the backup RBs stepping in for Arizona. Trey Benson is likely to get more carries. A prop bet like Trey Benson over 60 rushing yards could carry value. Murray scrambling yards is another angle. With Conner out, Arizona may use Murray-designed runs more. For Seattle, Kenneth Walker is the RB to watch. Anytime TD scorer props for Walker are strong. Wide receivers. Jackson Smith and Jigba for Seattle has been reliable in yardage receiving. Arizona's leaps may come from Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, or Emari Demercado in the pass game. Under props for total passing yards may be safer given Arizona's past issues versus strong defenses. Edge cases. Weather, short week effect, home field advantage. Arizona is at home, which helps. Short week means less prep time, favoring simpler game plans and fewer explosive plays. Seattle coming off a big win might have momentum, but also could be vulnerable in letdown situations. Arizona would be highly motivated to avoid falling behind in the division. The margin is small, which means plays might come down to turnovers, special teams, red zone efficiency. Given all of the above, this feels like a low-scoring close game. Leaning Seahawks minus 1.5 is reasonable if you believe their defense keeps them in it and Walker and Darnold manage enough in offense. But if one doubts Seattle's offense, the safer lean might be Arizona plus 1.5 or Seahawks ML depending on moneyline value. For total, the under 43.5 seems the stronger bet. Final score prediction in that scenario: Seahawks 23, Cardinals 20. A two-leg SGP, Seahawks ML plus under 43.5. This gives you a decent return since both legs are aligned with defensive lean and expectations of Arizona struggling without Connor. B. Three-leg parlay. I. Kenneth Walker anytime TD scorer. E. Trey Benson over 60 rushing yards. E. Under 43.5 total. The risk is higher but payout is better. C. Riskier leg. Player prop. Murray over 220 passing yards could be included if you believe Arizona will need to throw often. But that comes with risk due to defensive matchups. D. Defensive score or turnover-heavy prop. Given short week and tight game, a turnover prop, e.g. interception, fumble recovery, could pay off. Seattle's defense has shown promise. Bet 1. Seahawks minus 1.5 spread. Bet 2. Under 43.5 total points. Bet 3. Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown. Bet 4. Trey Benson over 60 rushing yards. Bet 5. Murray rushing yards over some moderate threshold, e.g. over 20 to 25 yards, is tempting if you believe he'll be more mobile without Connor. Murray passing yards. A modest number, projected approximately 220, is fair. Anytime TD passing prop is also okay if Seahawks defense gives up under pressure. Walker rushing attempts and yards. Look for volume. If Seattle leans run, Walker could be 15 plus carries. Props like Walker over 12.5 rush attempts, or Walker over 60 rush yards, have workable value. First touchdown scorer. Kenneth Walker and Marvin Harrison Jr. are top candidates. According to simulation, Walker has approximately 50% or more chance of scoring anytime, and Harrison Jr. is among top 3 for Cardinals scoring. Receiving yards props. For Seattle, Jackson Smith and Jigba over 60-plus receiving yards is possible. For Arizona, Harrison Jr. or McBride may hit 50-plus on favorable routes. Arizona cornerback Will Johnson, Will Hernandez, O.T. Paris Johnson Jr. are questionable due to injuries. These could affect pass protection or run blocking. Seattle has defensive questionables too. Also, Arizona's defensive line losses, including Riley and resource issues, could open passing rush lanes for Seattle. Watch line shifts and in-game adjustments. If Arizona struggles to run, they may abandon ground game, putting pressure on Murray and leading to turnovers. On the Seattle side, if their offensive line gives time, Darnold could exploit mismatch versus Arizona's secondary. Arizona's offense ranks 25th in NFL in yards per game, approximately 276.3, while their defense surrenders about 340.7 yards per game. Seattle's offense has big pass plays per attempt but poor rushing efficiency. Historically, Seahawks led this rivalry 2-9, 2-2-1. The last 7 meetings all won by Seattle, often by double digits. That trend matters in betting tendencies. Also notable, Arizona's defense is among the better units when it comes to points allowed and opponent yards allowed versus rush or pass depending on the matchup. Seahawks offense versus Arizona pass defense will be a key battle. If Arizona can generate turnovers, special teams plays, or explosive WR routes, they can derail the lean toward Seattle. Murray's ability to buy time or scramble could shift momentum. Seattle's running game being stifled would force them to throw more, which increases risk. Also, short week fatigue or minor injuries could play a larger role than usual. Weather or field conditions at State Farm could also have small but meaningful effect. Always monitor as game approaches. Seahawks minus 1.5. Under 43.5 total. Pick Seattle ML or spread depending on juice. Key props to target. Kenneth Walker anytime TD, Trey Benson rushing yards, maybe Murray scrambles. Possible parlay combining 2 legs Seahawks ML plus under or 3-leg SGP including prop. Expected final. Seahawks 23-20. If you want safer play, Arizona plus 1.5 plus under is cover hedge.